Let us start off today where we ended last evening. The law which the Israeli Knesset passed to automatically default to a death penalty for Palestinian detainees. They say they're detaining them only because they've committed an act of violence, right? Or they're all terrorists. They're all terrorists. No matter what, they're all terrorists. Military courts, which have 99% conviction rate, says they're all terrorists and have committed a lethal act against Jewish persons. So the Knesset, wearing noose pins on their lapels, passed a law yesterday which Netanyahu voted for to hang Palestinian detainees. The same law does not apply to Jews. If a Jew kills a Palestinian, that law does not apply. So it applies only to Palestinian detainees, majority of whom are political prisoners. So Europe has issued some joint statement that has no teeth, means nothing. Does it mean they will apply sanctions on Ben Gvir, who actually proposed this law? Does it mean it will now exercise the ICC warrants against Netanyahu, who has voted for this law? I don't think so. So let us move to more credible sources that have some moral standing and moral clarity, and I would like to quote at least two. One is from South Africa. He is South African former ANC MP Andrew Feinstein. Now, Andrew Feinstein spoke up against the Gaza genocide and was immediately trashed and smeared and canceled and harassed. So he is South African, he is Jewish, and he's a former member of the ANC, which is Nelson Mandela's party. And Andrew Feinstein wrote last night, not even apartheid South Africa codified executions for only one race group. Israel is now the most racist state the world has known since Nazi Germany. As the son of a Holocaust survivor who lost dozens of her family, I say this cautiously and with extreme pain. But it is now a fact. Close quotes. Pedro Sanchez, the only European leader who has the spine and the moral clarity from day one, wrote the following this morning. The government of Spain condemns the death penalty against Palestinians that Israel's parliament has just approved. This is an asymmetric measure that would not be applied to Israelis who committed the same offenses. Same crime, different penalty. That is not justice. It is one more step toward apartheid. The world cannot remain silent. Close quote. There is some good news this morning. As we all know, the genocide in Gaza did not affect Europe one bit in their bottom line. It did not affect their economies, it did not cause inflation, it did not cause shortages. Sure, it might have caused some embarrassment to some politicians because the hypocrisy was being called out. But aside from that, because, politicians are known to be hypocrites, so what me worry? Bottom line is it did not hurt their profit making, or it did not hurt their standing on their economy. It did not hurt their economy. However, the war on Iran absolutely is trashing their economies. So they are now singing the "We Didn't Light the Fire" or whatever that song is. And so what is happening today? Let us see how Europeans are responding today. So Italy is saying that they will not permit American planes, to carry weapons to attack Iran. From the Sicily bases, they will absolutely not permit it. The Spanish defense minister already said that Americans will not be allowed to use Spanish bases to attack Iran. They went even further by saying that American planes will not be able to fly over Spanish air. They will not be able to use a Spanish airspace. Interestingly, France is very upset about what's happening in Lebanon. France has refused Israel use of airspace to transfer US weapons for Iran war. Did we get that? France refused Israel use of airspace to transfer US weapons for Iran war. This did not happen during the genocide of Gaza. So everybody can spot the difference. Poland says it will not relocate Patriot batteries to Middle East after media claims US pressure. Yes, Poland says they will not give up their Patriot missiles to relocate them. Remember, South Korea is having to remove missiles because the US needs them for the war on Iran. So Trump and Hegseth and everybody else is foaming at the mouth, saying France very unhelpful with Iran and US will remember that. So Trump is saying to these Europeans now, well, like as I think a BBC journalist describes as, schoolhouse kind of bullying in a schoolyard. Now, never ever has the same journalist described Netanyahu that way or Biden that way during the Gaza genocide. But yes, Trump is behaving like he's having a hissy fit as a teenager in a schoolyard war. So what is Trump saying? Trump is basically telling Europe to F off and to get their own oil. Yes, F off and get your own oil. Very strange. Okay. Now, perhaps this is an opportunity for Spain, that is well liked by Iran, to start sailing with Spanish flag tankers and go through the Strait of Hormuz to supply Europe. Maybe that is a good strategy for Spain. Who knows? Maybe they'll do it, maybe they won't. But, since Trump is saying F off, get your own oil, that might be a solution for Spain. Oh, and by the way, today, gas prices have hit an average of $4. Now, if it's an average, that means in certain states, certain cities, it must have gone over $4, right? It might be $5 and change. Just remember, elevated gas prices affect everything. Everything. I went to the grocery store the other day. Okay, New York is hideously expensive. But just 2 weeks before, a product I bought was one price. I went back 2 weeks later, and it is more expensive by $1.50. Now, either that is price gouging, or it is preemptive, or it actually is now the cost of doing business for this provider. It was truly a sticker shock. That is what I personally am experiencing in my grocery bill. I cannot imagine what other people are experiencing. We are in deep trouble. But Donald Trump is now flailing about, telling the world, I broke it, you fix it. You're on your own. And Europe, you didn't come to my help, I will never come to your help. Okay, fine. So Europe needs to step up and end this horror. The problem is Mr. Netanyahu also made a statement last night, and he very clearly said they're going to continue to bomb and attack and destroy Iran. He will not stop. He also said, and his defense minister confirmed today, that they intend to occupy Lebanon, southern Lebanon, up to the Litani River. And they explicitly said the 600,000 Lebanese that we have pushed out will not be allowed to come back. I am quoting Katz, the defense minister of Lebanon. He has explicitly said that they have driven out 600,000 Lebanese from their homes and their lands, and they will not be allowed to come back until the residents of northern Israel don't feel safe. What an arbitrary condition. Now, how many people live in northern Israel? Driven out 600,000 people, and you've occupied their territory. Who will stop them? Who will stop Israel from killing Iranian civilians? Last night, they bombed Isfahan. They struck Isfahan, one of the most ancient cities in the world. Their object is utter destruction. Their object is to destroy everything of beauty, whether human lives, whether academia, whether ancient sites, whether heritage. I honestly think degrading Iran's military capabilities is no longer the objective. Destroying evidence of Iran's heritage, history, beauty is the objective. This war is coming from a place of deep, deep hatred. This war is coming from a place of bloodlust. Gaza is the model for Iran. Gaza is the model for Lebanon. This is what is going on today. Trump is flailing about. Netanyahu is telling you he will not stop. So we don't know where this is going. My guess is the armies that Trump has sent, the young men and women will engage on the ground in some format and then probably be asked to stop and disengage and leave. And Israel will continue and be allowed to continue killing Iranians using US weaponry. And Trump will leave the world to deal with Israel. It is a worse situation that is developing. I don't see how this gets better if Israel doesn't stop.